December 21st. Veni, veni, o Oriens, solare nos adveniens, noctis de pelle nebulas, dirasque noctis tenebras, gaude, gaude, Emmanuel, nascetur pro te Israel. O dawn of the east, radiant brightness of light eternal and sun of justice, come and enlighten those who dwell in darkness and in the shadow of death. Christ is the truth. He is the one whose very presence illuminates human life, and he comes to bring the plenitude of revelation. We are apostles of his, especially chosen by him to extend his light into the world, to bring his truth to men in an age when the Prince of Lies seems to rule over the majority of the world. Symbolically, we have to enter the mist of Satan. He wants to confuse, to bring mists and fogs of every shade into the world, from light gray to black and all in between. He uses fogs and mists to make the day seem like twilight. He prefers the twilight to the night because when it is totally dark, people stay away from it. But people think they can find their way in fog, and so they venture in and get lost. In the mist, truth and untruth lose their boundaries. People think they are walking the straight path of the Lord, when in actuality they may have already ventured onto the wide road of Satan, or into one of his 1,000 twisted paths. The Lord has chosen us to light the way into the mist with lamps of our faith and love. We must take plenty of oil for our lamps, like the wise virgins awaiting the coming of the bridegroom. See Matthew 25, verses 3-7. With the oil of God's truth, we can sail forth into the mist. It is God's oil and God's light, and wherever the ray of that light reaches, it destroys the mist of Satan. Then we can see, because we will be living in the light of God's truth. This is why we are so important to the church. Each of our lamps may appear small, but there are many of us, and the light we carry is not ours, but Christ's. And what could be more immense and more potent against the mists and fogs of Satan? O come thou day spring from on high, and cheer us by thy drawing nigh. Disperse the gloomy clouds of night, and death's dark shadow put to flight. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel.